You're my star. Hard to wonder where you are. Okay. If you know that song, okay, is by a famous R&B trio, chime down in the chatterization down below. Y'all know I like playing song. What we gonna call that? Song identification for the starless Robyn Dixon, the starless Robyn Dixon, no star for you. Okay. Nene Leakes is not playing with Robyn Dixon. Okay. Robyn is not playing with Nene because she has a clapback for the Lenethea Leakes after Miss Lenethea Leakes called her starless. But who else is starless in Nene's opinion? Well, we talked about it yesterday in the video. Giselle, Robyn, and Claudia Jordan are all starless, according to Nene, despite the fact that Nene says that Claudia was the only one that could go toe to toe with her. Now, I done recalled a couple of times where I done felt like a couple of other people done went toe to toe with her, but we're going to leave it there. Okay. Chime down if you think that there's anybody else that has ever read Nene or stood up to her one on one and sent her running in an opposite direction or slamming a laptop. Meanwhile, an in between starless is Kenya. Potential star is Portia. An entrepostarla is Phaedra. Supporting star is Candy. Sonia and Manetta can say bye-bye. So, Robyn reacts to this with the LOL. She says, who, me? But then she goes on to state, somebody says, ask me and Giselle anything. What are your thoughts on Nene calling you and Giselle starless? She says, speaking for myself only, she's right. I'm not a star. I'm very regular, normal. I'm a very regular, normal ASS person who just happens to be on a reality show. So, no offense taken at all. I do find it strange that I'm even mentioned in that conversation, though. So, is she calling out Carlos? Now, the reason why I thought that it was mentioned was because the initial starless comments came about from Nene's stint on the Breakfast Club, where she was asked about whether or not Robyn and Giselle, or was it just Robyn, were stars, okay? And the answer then was also starless as well. So I felt like that was why it was being brought back up, to see if she would give the same answer. But Robyn, okay, did seem like she didn't appreciate the mention. Okay. Um, let's get into Robyn's response real quick because I like it. I mean, it really just speaks to Robyn's persona on the show. She has never, which I don't know if I don't mind it. I don't mind this because she says that I'm not a star. I'm a regular person who just happens to be on a reality TV show. Now, for some people, what I will say is, for me, when I'm watching Potomac, I know I'm not watching Beverly Hills. Let me just state that off the rip. However, I do watch Housewives in general for a view behind the gates. Okay. I want to know what life is like for people behind the gates. That's how we were introduced to this franchise. Go back to Real Housewives of Orange County. The first thing you see on in the beginning of those episodes in the intro was the opening of a gate. Okay, signaling to us that we were getting a glimpse behind the lives of these ultra fabulous, women who just happen to be, wives or girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? And so as we've grown through the years, we have seen the addition of, I would say, regular, um, everyday people introduced on the show. And I don't mind it if they're living in their truth. And I feel like Robyn, for the most part, has lived in that element of her truth, right? From the get-go, we saw her, getting rid of stuff. We've heard her story and it's relatable. So sometimes on a show, you do need relatable, right? But I think the clash comes in where we have a natural clash oftentimes is mixing the regular in with the fabulous, okay? But without fabulosity, then the shows are left to thrive only on drama, whether it be organic or contrived. And I would wager to say that the reason why we are having such a hard time with reality TV as it stands in this day and time is that there is an overabundance of degular people, okay, um, on reality TV, um, and there's a lack of fabulosity such that then the degular people are usually maybe feel the pressure to coerce or put on for the sake of having drama where there is an element of fabulosity that is lacking. Okay. So that's the reason that I feel like we're in the state that we're in with reality TV that we are in today. Okay. Now, sometimes we want to watch regular people, but when the premise has been that we're going to take a look behind the gates, that's what we want to see. Okay. Because if I can see my next door neighbor, what do I need to see that for? I can look out the window and see that. I can just live my own life and be regular degular. You know what I'm saying? I want to see fabulosity. And I think that is an element that Nene Leakes and Carlos talked about in their show. I mean, in their interview, that is missing. It's the missing element in much of reality because lately they've been just bringing on, it's a lot of regular, okay? And we as the viewer, we want to be transported, okay, to a land of diamonds and rosé. I know I do. Speaking of things that might be the fault of production. Production gets it. They do get a bad rap. I mean, you know, sometimes they can only work with what they got, but I think that's also goes back to casting. But again, sometimes regular is okay if you've got it in a mix of a lot of fabulosity, because then you can see how does that work? Does it work? Usually, I don't think it works. That's like watching Heather Dubrow on Orange County run around with Gina. I mean, it don't add up. Anyway, Kenya Moore is calling out production. I don't know if this was featured or not in the slideshow that we talked about the other day, where we got reactions from the cast. But Kenya Moore says, so they show a flashback of me opening the door, protecting my daughter to say I was in the wrong while maniacs are kicking and banging at my door. And in case you don't remember, in the episode, when I believe when they were showing, when they were sort of giving you a show and tell, because Courtney was talking about karma and Kenya's karma and things that she was doing that was mean girlish. And one of the examples that they used, I believe, in that moment was Kenya cursing out the door. I don't know if she was cursing or not, but she was screaming out the door after Marlo had kicked the door. And she was yelling about her child being in there. So Kenya is saying, so they're showing the flashback of me opening the door, protecting my daughter to say I was in the wrong while maniacs are kicking and banging at my door. Wow. Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it does beg the question, because I've seen this a lot. Do you guys feel that there is an effort to sort of villainize Kenya and Kandi this season? Now, granted, when we talk about reality TV, everybody is not going to get a good edit every season. Like it just is what it is. And that's the balance of the scales, right? But I feel like fans, and it seems like both Kenya and Candy have suggested that maybe some of the edits are a bit um more leaning towards a favorable edit for like a Marlo or a Sheree or Courtney versus the two of them when they have felt like they have been reacting to the things that have been thrown their way. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about this and if you agree or disagree. Okay. Now, and it's hard to say, you know what I'm saying? Because the episode where they did the whole flashback of Marlo and Candy's relationship, to me, it seemed to favor Marlo. But as a lot of viewers, it seemed like some people felt like it favored Candy. So maybe it's all in perception. But I did think that that moment of Kenya yelling out the door was not a good representation of her being a mean girl. Now there are plenty of other examples you could have used. You could have gone back in the vault, okay, for that. But that to me was not a good example. And I just got to be honest about that. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Drew Sidora. Okay. Now, Drew, baby. Okay. Um, can you woo woo woo? So our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. Shout out to in the previous story. Shout out to Reality Rundown. Shout out to Reality Chat for those stories. The links will be in the description if you are watching this video on YouTube. And if you're watching it elsewhere, you can actually see it on the screen. I like to make sure that you guys can see where the stories are coming from as we comment on them. So the chef who Drew was sued by was interviewed by Original Straight No Chaser. Now, for what I understand and from what I've seen in the past, they are a great source of information and tea, especially for the Love and Marriage franchise. I've definitely seen a lot of good information coming from them. Now, it was reposted on the Neighborhood Talk. So in this interview, the young lady, the chef slash nanny, Monique, provides receipts. Now, Drew claims that she never employed this young lady, but the young lady provides alleged receipts showing she was employed to cook, bathe her kids unsupervised, sort her wigs, and more. Let's talk about it. Okay. There are receipts that show, okay, on what, October 7th, 2021, that Drew's assistant allegedly requested Monique to cook for her for Drew Sidora. Drew stated allegedly that she wanted to cook some food. She wanted her to cook some food for her, but that was a lie. This is Drew's response to that. The chef nanny, Monique, alleges that she sent over a sample plate on October the 10th, for which she does provide a text receipt for. And the manager, I guess Drew's manager, allegedly enjoyed the yams, and Monique was asked to cook for 7 people the following day. So she got the test plate. The manager liked the test plate, allegedly. Let me put the alleged badge up here because Lord have mercy, you know, because Drew got a response. So hold on to your wigs. Hold on to your wigs, folks. Monique stated 11 people actually ate the meal, which included 8 adults and 3 children. Now, Drew's assistant allegedly rushed Monique to bring the food over the following day. On Monique's first day as the nanny, she was asked to bathe the kids via Drew's assistant. So Drew's assistant seems, and management or whoever they may be, seem like they are providing a lot of the instruction. Wonder if Drew knew any of this. Though Drew claims she never employed Monique, she was allowed to view. Oh, she was left unsupervised to bathe them. Monique was also asked to locate Drew's wigs in her closet and take pictures so they could be sent off for repairs while fulfilling nanny duties for her kids. Okay. Now, in the comment section, if you scroll on over, you will see Drew Sidora has commented. I'm going to bring this up a little bit bigger. Okay. So you can see it covering my face, but okay. That ain't important right now. Drew says we went to court and she showed all her evidence and it got tossed out because it was all the BS. Okay. So there you have it. If you guys would like to watch the interview, you can head over to the original Straight No Chaser, I'm assuming Instagram or YouTube page, and watch the full interview at your leisure. Oh, Drew. Oh, Drew. It's crazy to me because Drew always ends up looking like she's telling some tall tales. Y'all know that? Because the girl seems credible to me. It does seem like this is what happened, but I'm assuming that as there is no employment contract or agreement, then that could be one of the reasons why this case went in Drew's favor if it did. The other thing is, Drew, get some NDAs for the people that are coming into your crib. Period. Problem solved. And maybe cut back on some of the assistants. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why you got so many. If you still have them all, like it makes no sense to me. Like it seemed like you just got people, agreeing to things on your behalf, and then it's coming back to bite you in the butt later, right? So why don't you I don't know, talk to Candy or somebody like that, and get a better idea of what it takes to have a team around you that ain't gonna be running around. Because the genesis of this is that it seems like the assistants or the management was agreeing to a lot of things based on the evidence provided. But y'all be the judge. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think, and I will catch you in the next video.